What is going on, guys? We are back with another realistic style rebuild, not Madden 22, and today it is of the New Orleans Saints, who of course are a very interesting team because they stay competitive as hell despite injuries, despite the fact that the quarterback situation has been kind of up in the air for the last 2 years even. Drew Brees was really just barely chugging it along. Got to give him props to knowing when it's time to give up. Big Ben Roethlisberger was like, I've got a payday. Keep paying me. Obviously, they pushed all that money. They're like, we gotta move on. Sorry, buddy, gotta move on. But of course, Jameis Winston, a guy that actually looked really solid for the Saints before his injury. The Saints, they were really well coached. Their team looked insanely good. They were able to absolutely destroy teams like the Packers and the Buccaneers, and those types of games are not easy to win, especially when your quarterback situation is Trevor Siemian and the other guy. What's the other quarterback guy? Why can't I not think of his name? It's literally like Taysom Hill. That's the damn one. Of course, they have Jameis back. I would still kind of say that he's a star dev in my opinion. Did I forget to change the devs? Jesus, I'm a professional. But yeah, we're back where we wanted to be. Jameis Winston at stars. I think, he's come away. All right, he's come away, and I think, like I said, he was on par for a pretty damn good year. Obviously, Olave is a huge addition to the team, with Thomas presumably finally being back. Of course, it's been like 2 years since he's actually played. It's about 2 years, maybe physically 2 years at this rate. Of course, Olave is a guy that was really hard for people to rank in the draft, so people thought he was a little too small, but obviously he's very fast, a solid route runner. And another issue was that he was playing with Garrett Wilson in that offense that just, it seemed like it was easy to get open no matter who you were. But I think Olave, even though it was maybe a little bit of a reach from the Saints, is gonna be a star. So regardless if you call it a reach or not, he's gonna be a superstar in the league, I feel. And of course, it's only gonna help that he's playing with guys like Kamara and Michael Thomas. Of course, they added Jarvis Landry for the slot, which, I mean, where do they keep getting the money? I don't know. Trevor Penning, I will say, I know he has a lot of upside and people like him. Well, some people like him because he's kind of a rowdy guy. I just don't know, dude. Personally, I don't think he's going to be a good player. I just personally don't, but a lot of people, a lot of scouts, a lot of people saying, "Oh, look at how gritty he is. Look at how passionate he is." I think he has a short temper and he's kind of a bully. And I don't think that's going to be a great combination in the NFL, but we'll see. Obviously, of course, the offensive line losing Tyrann Mathieu is still good enough. The big issue is the cap, which they seem to ignore completely. I know they lost Armstead, but I mean, that seems like a really small loss at this rate when you consider that they kept everyone else and they were able to keep Winston on a kind of expensive deal when you consider the fact that this is a team that felt like they had no cap, but to hit $14 million per year with Jameis is still quite a amount. Of course, we also know about the huge addition of Tyrann Mathieu, which it's really surprising that he signed for that little because the Chiefs literally replaced him for that price, which I don't know if guys like him and Jarvis hit the open market thinking they were going to get paid, but they just didn't, and they settled for good teams. Maybe that's why. I'm not sure, but it seems like the Saints constantly do this. They literally have the Tom Brady effect without having Tom Brady. I don't understand how they do it. Props to them, I guess. But, Lattimore got paid, obviously. And Davenport, I think, is on the 5th-year option, if I'm not mistaken. Cameron Jordan's on the older side, but he's always a great player. Demario Davis is just phenomenal at his age, obviously. They added Marcus May. Gardner Johnson, I believe, is a guy that is looking to be on the way out. Seems like there's a lot of disgruntledness. I'm pretty sure I've seen some pretty, I wouldn't even say cryptic tweets. It's basically just subtweeting. A lot of stuff that just points towards Gardner Johnson not returning, which, as far as a rebuild standpoint goes, is really hard for me because he's just so good. But I just feel like they're not going to be able to re-sign him, and that's just the way it's going to go. But I'm not really sure. Maybe they even look to trade him, which, I mean, it wouldn't be the worst call in the world. I mean, he would garner some good off. Garner. Yup. I said it. And because I said it, you will like and subscribe, of course, obviously. That's the only reasonable outcome, not clicking off the video and never coming back, obviously. But yeah, I might look to trade him off. I know he can move around a lot, and he's a solid player, but like I said, I just feel like they're not going to be able to afford him. And unless we're going like really, having a really good season, even if we are, I still feel like you can get so much for him, and I don't think this team can afford to tag and trade him. Like I said, I don't know how they deal with the cap the way they do, but they do. I'm like looking at the contract for Taysom Hill, and I honestly I don't understand, dude. I just don't get it. Like, sure, he has some gadget play, cool stuff in him, and as far as if you want to run that kind of stuff, it's almost impossible to find someone like that. Props to him, but oh my god, especially at his age, like, this is ridiculous. The things that make him good are his athleticism, and I just don't see how they think, unless these numbers are wrong, that he's going to be that guy till 35. Because, like, there's no reason for them to get rid of him until 35. And even then, it's still a $6 million hit. I actually cannot believe it. This is crazy money, dude. Like, we literally have an anchor, a ball and chain of money on our team here. In real life, sure, they're probably going to get some value out of him. They're probably going to use him, with their special packages. But we can't. He's a tight end. You can't, like, move him around. Like, what am I supposed to do? Change him week by week? It doesn't work in a rebuild, unfortunately, but it's a part of the contract, right? So, I mean, I don't know. It's part of the team's burden, if you will. Also, we're off to an 0-3 start. I'm really starting to think, like, once again, we don't know how next year's going to go, but, like, do I start forcing wins and losses based upon realism? Because, like, I don't know what the Saints' schedule actually is, but, like, the Saints' floor is at least 7 wins. And here, there's a chance we go 0-17. Like, this team just isn't bad enough to not go with 7 wins. Like, even with the worst quarterback possible, they're still a team that can win. It's just, I don't know. And honestly, like I said, I mean, the game cares less about the actual quarterback than real life by a huge margin, and yet here we are getting smoked on the season, 0-5. And I don't think I'm going to go with a real life clash just because, once again, I like to find excuses not to, and us not having a first round pick, oh my god, us not having a first round pick is probably the best excuse you could probably ask for. But at the same time, at this rate, we might still be in the market for a quarterback, maybe trade up again and take like a late first round team, guy. Because it seems like there's a lot of good quarterbacks next year, but at the same time, the consensus is super mixed on who's a first-round guy or not, outside of the obvious top 2. Resignings, a lot of, like, kind of depth guys that were also recently signed, and honestly, I just don't think you can afford many of them. Maybe we grab some of the backups just for some depth, speaking of, but don't think we can really afford many of them. Deontay Harris, obviously, the return guy, but I actually thought he was going to really get going last season as an actual receiver. And I will say more than ever in his career, he did. But I thought a little bit more of him because, I mean, he was looking really tough to stop for a moment. But, yeah, unfortunately for us, his time here has run its course, which he still has plenty of potential. It's just like, I mean, you can't afford everyone, especially when you're the Saints team. Now, I think in real life, this is a likely playoff team. The game, however, thinks they're 7-10. I don't personally think we're going to see the Saints as a 7-10 team. I just don't think that's going to happen. But that is not really for me to say, as once again, this is a Madden rebuild. This isn't a, physically real life rebuild. Of course, Jameis Winston, 4,600 yards, 35 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and we did this badly. Of course, midway through the season, I changed the scheme because usually you can run the whole offense through Kamara, and it just wasn't working out. So why would I continue to go with it? Troutman played really well, surprisingly. Olave was pretty damn good. Michael Thomas back, but not really back to his normal self. Jarvis Landry provided less than I think the Saints would expect from him. Obviously, he's a really solid slot wide receiver. You're expecting 700 to 800 yards, especially in a 17-game season. Trevor Penning, a sack a game pretty much. It's pretty bad. Everyone else was pretty decent, though. Defensively, sack totals, Cameron Jordan, great player. Davenport, great player, it seems. I mean, if we can keep them two together for a while longer, that'd be great. Tyrann Mathieu with 3 interceptions, and obviously DeMario had a lot of tackles. Will Lutz only missing 2 kicks. Gillikin with 50+ yards per punt. I mean, individually, there's a lot of guys with really good seasons. We just sucked as a whole and sucking holes. Lamar Jackson, MVP of the league, which, I mean, could happen. You never know. But I just feel like even though the Ravens seem to constantly do well to make their team good, they keep on slacking on that offensive side of the ball, specifically wide receiver. But that's the AFC. Let's not do that, actually. Any award wins, you got to get rid of Cap again, which, I mean, this game's always capping in general. No award wins, even though Jameis was really good. Maybe a Pro Bowler, though. I kind of only glanced. Let me actually take one more look. Yeah, Winston number 3, which that's Pro Bowl, should go to Superstar, which would make it very interesting. Do I maybe bump his ratings as well? I don't know. Like I said, I mean, we've done these for many players, and he was definitely trending in the right direction before the injury, so I'm just saying. All right, so we are at the Super Bowl, the Giants versus the Steelers, which I can tell you right now has 0.00001% chance of happening. Jameis Winston, superstar development trade. I mean, a season like that, I would say he'd probably be like 85, 86 overall. The game would, would still be pretty cautious, just so, they don't get any backlash if he were to just suck again. But I think I would probably bump him to 82, 83 overall. Everyone else, same dev on the offense, except actually Troutman went up to star, which, I mean, we'll see, I guess. Defensively, looking at the devs, I don't believe we gained a single dev up. Now, Pete Warner actually went up in dev. That's about it, though. Nothing really massive, because he's, once again, he's an older rookie. But I guess it gives us one less position to worry about. Probably going to replace Bond, though, because he's also an older rookie, or once upon a time was an older rookie. And obviously, he does not have star development trade. He's a little bit worse off. But yeah, linebacker is probably one of the bigger needs for this team to fill. DT would also be helpful. And I mean, everything. I mean, we got a lot of good pieces. This is a team that should be a quicker rebuild. Simply put, I mean, this should be a quicker rebuild. But we'll see. Obviously, Jameis Winston is really performing personally. He's helping us with that. But the Giants 22-20 over the Steelers. The Giants win a Super Bowl. I mean, I'm gonna take a little while to do a Giants rebuild just so we can forget about this whole situation. Oh man. Obviously, they lost Bradbury, but they are trending in the right direction outside of that. Once again, it's kind of Daniel Jones's, I wouldn't say job to lose, but he should have more reason to not suck. And I can't re-sign anyone because we're negative 30 million cap space. Nice. Should have tried to collab with one of the front office members of the Saints because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out of this myself. The problem is I'm going to have to look at some real-life contracts because we're a whole year behind. So realistically, we should have traded Chauncey off. I don't think technically he would be here in real life, but I'm just going to trade him off for, I mean, honestly, depends on who's asking. All right, so sorry, Roby, but you are gone. I mean, I didn't pay attention to real life. Maybe he actually is on a deal that they can't get rid of him from, but there's got to be something we could do here. Maybe one of these guys is getting paid that they shouldn't be. Well, maybe not those guys, but damn, how did they do it? Honestly, how the hell did they do it? I honestly could not tell you. I really don't know. It's time to get busy, baby. See you later, Traquan. Yeah, there is a lot of different things involved, like stuff like Lattimore here being paid $27 million this season, whereas real life, I think this would be his $17 million season, which obviously would save us a ton. With $10 million savings is just huge, which, I mean, it's close enough, right? I mean, I think we maybe undersold it. I'll fix it just so no one cries. I'm a Saints organization. I'm a Saints front office guy. I'm just saying, I need those Saints guys to, do my taxes. They knock it out in, less than 22 minutes. 22 seconds, actually, probably, and I'd probably end up getting money back from the government rather than having to pay them. Of course, Onyemata would be a great guy to get rid of, but in real life, I believe they would be still stuck with the bill for another year. Also, I think Davenport would be let go to free agency just based on not being a... Oh, there's another one, actually. Jarvis Landry. Why has he got a I literally signed him in free agency. Did I have auto re-signings on maybe? Well, that helps out a bit because, he's worth not $6 million for us because we're obviously, this is just not a team that's going to be able to afford him in real life. Stupid ass pissing me off, Taysom freaking Hill. Damn it, smart guy, money man, proud of him, happy for him, pissed off in game. And this is more of a just I forgot to trade him rather than like I'm trying to cheat the game. It's really hard to deal with when you're thinking of, in-game Garner Johnson has another contract. But in real life, he would need a contract, and at this point, it seems like I said, it's almost guaranteed that he's gone. I don't want to get rid of him, but based on money, based on the trajectory, it makes sense. And the Broncos are a team that obviously pride themselves a lot on having a great defense. Garner Johnson for pick 45 at this rate would be, I wouldn't say a steal because you have to pay him still, but it's a lot safer than Jamal Adams, and I really do like Garner Johnson a ton. I trade for him all the time, and I draft him all the time in fantasy drafts. Like, it's just, part of the business. Got to get rid of him. But as far as getting rid of players go, I also think, unless we were going to pay, I don't know, like, how he had a really good year for us. Is there a way we can clear more money? Because I would like to keep Davenport, but at this point, once again, he would be a free agent. And, the way he just played, he's at minimum getting 15 per over 4. Yeah, a 4-year 60 would actually probably be pretty fair for him, even with the numbers. You got to realize you're on the Saints. It's a good defense in general, and then you have on the opposite side Cameron Jordan. So I think 15 per for him would be fair. I just don't know where we're going to find that kind of money. And in traditional Saints fashion, I'm actually going to give him the contract before I clear the money because that's just the way we roll. I think that's a fair contract. I think that's something he would accept. Go from once upon a time maybe not making the roster to getting a 4-year 60. Not every single pass rusher ever going on from now till the end of time is going to be paid 20-some mil per year. And it seems minuscule, but we're going to actually save just about 2 mil releasing Mr. Hurst. So we are about to do that real quick. And it might be enough to save us. Actually, it's not. You can see that it's actually going to hurt us pretty badly, but oh well. I'm not even going to go into free agency. There's literally no point. There's actually no point. Now, one of the big things we need to do is absolutely look at some of the guys. I know a lot of this is team, the salary stuff, but I like this part of the rebuild because it's kind of, a bit different from other ones. Other rebuilds were like, we have enough money to re-sign everyone. Just get who you want. But this one, the big issue with the Saints, it really is all the contracts. So, Onyemata, going to be gone next season. Demario Davis may be gone as well. Jameis, maybe not even by choice, could be gone as well. What else do we have? I really wish we can get rid of Andres Pete, but we cannot. Eric McCoy. Man, we are... Maybe this isn't going to be a quick rebuild. Unless we win the Super Bowl next season, this could be actually the toughest rebuild we've ever had, technically. Because, realistically here, we can't get rid of Andres Pete until he literally runs out on his contract. It's really not a good look for us. All right, so the first pick overall goes to Washington in this one. Of course, quarterback still up in there, and they will end up solving that. Same with the Vikings, perhaps. And they do Isaac Allen, the Lions, maybe even them. No, they go with Gaddis. Now, there is a late first projected quarterback that is a round 1 talent. He is very athletic. And once again, even though I actually do believe in Winston, especially after the season he just had, we're broke. There's no getting around to it. We will not be able to afford him. If he got 14 mil per year over 2 years for potential, what do you think he's worth when he showed up? This is at least 20 mil per minimum. And we just can't afford anything over 10 probably at this rate. So if the guy's there around 20, I think we need to trade up and grab him. And I don't know what the situation is for the Buccaneers, but I am going to try to hop up to the Bengals here and grab this guy. We give them 41 this year, 73 this year, and 84 next year for pick 19, which of course will be used on a quarterback. Trading up when you're, this close. Once again, we're 7-10. When you're this close, in theory, for a quarterback, when you already have one, is super counterproductive. But He's good enough looking, very fast, and obviously a round 1 talent. We're hoping for the best. Stephen Reed, please. And he's hidden. 89 throw power, 88 speed. That is a steal. That's a steal. Of course, the Eagles, they could have taken him. The Buccaneers could have taken him. I mean, the Dolphins, I mean, we had to jump up here at that spot, I feel, and the Bengals just made us a happy camper. And I was going to trade them, Gardner Johnson. I just didn't feel like they really needed that safety spot. Miami's given us an okay trade here. I'm trying to get as much as I can in this draft to try and build a championship-level roster still, even after taking a quarterback with a trade-up. Still is doable. We really could use some day 3s that look decent here, so we're going to try and continue to move back into the 3rd round slowly if we can, as nobody's offering. We're going to have to manually make a trade. Worst part is this is actually a fair trade, and it's not actually terribly off. They said that we're actually gaining, we're losing 2 points. But you can see, I mean, we have a whole roster that still needs to be filled. So, I mean, we got to do what we can. So I don't really care too much about 6th or 7th round picks anyways, but they definitely won this trade. But, of course, it's going to help us out a ton because, the thing is, the value is there, right? Like, technically, we get a better point value, but in the NFL, specifically these types of rounds, teams absolutely do value quantity more than quality because, obviously, you have a bigger chance to hit when you have as many, shots as you get. And I rhymed because I'm an American, not a Brit. I don't freaking know, dude. But I'm debating, what do we want to do with this pick? Because we have options. DT, Jared Kemp, a power move. We could use multiple DTs, and we only have 2 of those types. We also do have a center, Jesse Powell. You're probably only going to get a chance at one or the other. The center looks a bit more guaranteed, but we also desperately need the DT. But you can also make the argument we only need 1. So if we can get Trout, whatever you want to call him, maybe that's enough. Of course, you do have 2 tight ends. I think Troutman was decent enough, but I also don't know if I like him long-term as much as one of these guys that are more athletic, but also don't know a whole lot about these guys. A medium route, A trucking, B. If you're going to go with one of those, I think you're gonna wait till next round, especially since there's 2 anyways. But I think I'm going to go with Powell, as we might just lose Eric McCoy based on not being able to afford him. So Jesse Powell, and he is hidden development trait. Not maybe as versatile as McCoy, but still good enough to play center if we need him to. Let's go to pick 3 in the 4th. Maybe take that DT right away, because once again, I don't know what, day 3 could literally be 3rd round even. But, hey, whoa, who did we lose? Well, regardless, we're taking the DT right away, so I'm not even going to worry about who we're going to lose. A power move, C block shed, gimme. Normal development trait, but 90 strength. I'd imagine, because he's going to be in the 80s for power move, that he's going to be an auto starter anyways, so okay, fair enough. Maybe we didn't lose as much as I thought, but it definitely felt like we did. Oh, the left guard's gone. Oh, man, he was actually okay looking. I think running back is a huge need, so I'm going to go with Jawan Gallery, a power back. We lost, normal, but we lost Mark Ingram, obviously, so that's not a huge goodness for us. We have a lot of 4th round picks, and the unfortunate part is a lot of those players did kind of go earlier than expected. Jimmy Whitfield, a guy with a C-man D zone, but very fast. Use that depth for sure, so we're going to grab him. 21 years old, 92 speed, 90 excel. Okay jumping. Agility and change direction is rough, but hopefully that just doesn't matter as much in Madden as it does in real life. And now we can maybe try to add a little bit for next year because, yeah, like I said, a lot of the players that we wanted are gone. This guy's a weird player because he's garbage, but he is very athletic. We could use depth at wide receiver. We don't really have a true number 3. I mean, I think we have Callaway, who's not bad actually, but he'll need to be getting a contract, and obviously we just can't afford to pay any non-starter at this point, even though technically the number 3 is a starter. But I just don't know if I really like that. Also would have really loved to add a linebacker, which we did have a few, but they're all like 3rd round guys, and we just needed other things more. Gonna really be missing DeMario when he's gone after next season. A B zone, I'm just gonna take Al Callaway here. He's 23, but we need something. I'm just hoping, even though he's normal, that maybe he has potential. Really drafting like a real Saints team here, huh? Getting massive value, but taking 23-plus-year-old linebackers. So we might need a kicker as well, but honestly, all of the kickers and punters suck except for Hudik. But he does have a D kick accuracy, but It is what it is. Hudick, 95 kick power. Everyone else was poor or marginal kick power, so that's going to be that. Did we even land... How many hiddens did we land? One? The quarterback and the lineman, actually. So, I mean, fair enough. I mean, we kind of got some of the biggest needs we needed. Quarterback, 74 overall is a huge win because it's just a position we're going to need. But let's take a look at Steven Reed. No matter what, he's not going to start this season. He looks pretty good because, obviously, Winston, he's getting paid a lot of money, and he is good. It's going to be one of those weird rebuilds where we're going to have to end up letting a really good quarterback go. But wearing number 10, star development trait, I mean, definitely something to work with. Jesse Powell, he's going to play center for us most likely when Eric McCoy just can't be afforded. Unless we can, which I suppose he can move around the line a little bit if we have to. 86 power move, nice. You know, he can move around the line a little bit so we can move him to maybe left guard. If Pete can get rid of... I mean, we can actually. He's going to be here for another couple of years. But Gallery, a solid, kind of young Mark Ingram, if you will. Whitfield was 68 overall. Not a bad overall, right? I mean, good man, crap zone, but some potential. Once again, he's a mid to late fourth rounder. Al Galloway, he's just awful. He's just terrible. I don't know what the hell we were thinking there, but it is a later pick anyways, I guess. And then awful accuracy for Hudick. Or Hudick, whatever you want to call him. I don't care. Yeah, I didn't even think about it, but Eric McCoy probably should be gone as well, but, what can you do? I actually have no idea how the Saints do it, how they're going to do it. I literally have 52 players on the roster with 1.5 mil left. All right, not really like a super common thing you see from, non-real-life players, but the rookie Gallery is now star development trait with the help of a long-term dev scenario with Alvin Kamara. All right, so here is the roster for year 2. Obviously, this is going to be such a tough one Winston's on par to be a really good quarterback, but there's nothing we can do. There's literally nothing we can do. We bumped him up to an 83 overall, which is very fair. I didn't touch his throw power. He actually got a couple of upgrades on his own, I believe. Well, I know for a fact he got, because we literally just got one for him. You can see right there, but it's going to be so sucky, especially if he plays well, because I want to keep him, but I can't. Offensive line-wise, Powell will fill in for Eric McCoy, who we just simply will not be able to afford. I mean, I honestly don't even know if we have even a couple of mil to spare. But of course, looking at the defensive side of things, probably going to lose Demario Davis. Anye Mata going away, actually. Maybe I didn't think about it. Maybe we can afford Eric McCoy, but honestly, at this point, should we? I don't want to, pull a Green Bay Packers and even higher than that. I picked, 19? But if we can try to find a way to keep Winston, I want to. Bro, we're losing to teams like the Falcons. What do I need to do? This team isn't bad. All right, here it is. You got Winston who wants a 4-year 122. Eric McCoy wants a 3-year 30, which is actually not bad. He is a center. After all, punter will be letting go. Please see 10 to 15. 40-some mil. Once again, Jameis is on that list. Also, do need to see what kind of season he's having, which is a worse one for sure. Well, I think we're going to pay Eric McCoy. I think it's going to be something like this. That seems a little bit better, maybe even higher than that. A 5-year 60, or 4-year 60. I mean, similar to our boy Marcus Davenport. Onyemata, sorry, pal. I mean, not even a terrible contract, but maybe. I don't know, actually. It's not terrible, right? It's like a 1-year 6. But I think we can do better. I think we can do better long-term as well. Jameis, I think you might move on from. I mean, we can barely afford it, but should we afford it? He's not playing well. Seam isn't either. Even with multiple scheme changes, it's actually still getting worse for Jameis, which is really strange, actually. So, I mean, I think I might be letting him go. Hey, Marcus Davenport. Superstar development trait. We failed a lot of scenarios, but this was not one of them. Headed to the playoffs. You think we're in them as one of the better teams in the league? Well, if you think so, you would have been wrong, as we are 7-10 again. Of course, this time we do have our own first-round pick, but let's see. To be fair, we are playing some tough teams by the looks of it. Losing to a tough team, winning against a tough team, losing to an okayly tough team. The Panthers are great in Madden. Seahawks, you should win. We did. Tough team. Shouldn't be losing this. The Falcons are glitched in the game for some reason. Cardinals, not an easy team. Tough team. Once again, glitched in game. Tough team. Tough team. Decent team. We beat them, but they're glitched in the game. solid team, but they're glitched badly in the game. Niners, a solid team, and then Washington. I mean, that is a tough schedule. It really is. Like, you look at that schedule, and outside of the Falcons, is there a guaranteed win on this like schedule? Falcons and maybe the Panthers. You know, like there really isn't a guaranteed win. Even Washington, their defense at times can be insane, and the Saints more than anyone know how important a great defense can be. Let's take a look at the numbers. Jameis Winston, I'm glad we went for the quarterback because even with multiple scheme fits, I changed it many times. I went with Carolina. I went with the Saints, obviously. I went with Tampa. I went with the Packers. I went with the Chiefs. I think I even tried the Colts one week to see if Kamara could carry us, and none of it worked. And Kamara had a good season rushing. So, I mean, wow, Olave. Oh, wow. Yeah, oh. That is a bad season for the receivers. I mean, Michael Thomas is okay, but wow. That is awful. Trevor Penning, though. Okay. Only 4 sacks allowed. I don't like it. Davenport's superstar development rate is 11 sacks. You know, another double-digit sack season. That's all we want. Cameron Jordan, 14 sacks on Yamada. Sorry, you're a good player, but, need to save some money, and I think DT is a draftable position. Lattimore, a couple of guys with some okay pick numbers. Will Lutz was awful, and we can actually save money getting rid of him, but, I mean, if he can't be good, I mean, who do we bring in at kicker that would be better on paper than him, Stat sheet was bad, which is paper, but, Jonathan Taylor, league MVP, looking down there, Desmond Ridder, the Falcons quarterback, number 10. Kamara, offensive player of the year. No, I would have said rookie. Any other wins? Running back of the year. What else? Nothing. Wow, Packers are going to win the Super Bowl this year? Like every single freaking award? Come on, relax. Now, this is obviously a Super Bowl I can get behind realism-wise. As far as like wanting to see it, I wouldn't really care to see a rematch. Even though the Bengals do get the revenge, which is, a cool storyline, I guess. But let's take a look at devs. Of course, with Jameis gone, we will be able to at least breathe a little bit with the salary, or the cap room, I suppose. Olave is an 81 overall, but man, the first year was decent. The second year with all the scheme changes really was not his year. But yeah, I keep forgetting to show you guys the way the rookies are rated because that obviously is a part of it. It's kind of like they are names, but like at the same time, I got to start showing you guys the actual ratings out the gate, which it's a couple, it's a bit down the line, but it's not crazy down the line, I suppose. As far as defensively, we did get some dev ups, which were Warner and Adebo. Adebo, I don't know. But Pete Warner, superstar development trait. Put some respect on the man's name. Not bad. We absolutely need something like this for the linebacking group, and he's provided that for us. Of course, Demario Davis, he's still a good player. Depending on how much he costs, maybe you look to get rid of him. I don't know. Ranked 12 at middle linebacker. Still a really good player. Better ratings than his overall suggests as well. So for the first time in a while, we actually do have some open market money to spend if we want to. Looking at the names, you see a lot of the same kind of guys, which in fairness in real life aren't the most unrealistic names. At least Lamar's not on this list for once. Terry McLaurin could be one of those guys just because he doesn't want to play there anymore. And I don't know if they just can't figure out a trade or what's the story, but with this team, we obviously need a DT more than anything, and I wouldn't want to go into the draft with nobody other than Troup, who, once again, didn't have a great year as a true pass-rushing DT, even though he should have. But at the same time, I don't want to spend money on a guy with the intention of replacing him anyways, so I'm not really sure exactly what we're going to do here. Tight end, can't replace, it's not great. Need a wide receiver 3, but I don't think we need to spend money on one. Quez Watkins would be kind of a sneaky little receiver, though, and we'd be stealing him from the Falcons. Quez Watkins is probably a 10 mil a year type guy. A 3 or 25 would obviously lock him up for us. And, he'd be that burner. Olave, the route runner. Mike Thomas, the short route runner. Quez Watkins, the just go ball guy, which... what's his age? 25? I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. Quez Watkins in real life, the Eagles could move on from him. They've been moving around their wide receivers a lot. I don't think they would a couple years down the line, but we don't know how the future looks. Safety is a thought, but not right now. Marcus May really hasn't played well for us at all, to be honest, but he's here. He exists. Sean Murphy-Bunting, another Falcons theft. Do you also maybe put the money? I know we have a rookie quarterback, but do you maybe just slap some money at Gilmore? I want to see it before we do anything, who we have to pay. If we don't have to pay anyone, which there's a chance we might not have to, getting Gilmore could be clutch. But I also do like that Adebo did dev up. So it would be really counterproductive to add a guy for like a run, even though we're 7-10. It would be kind of counterproductive to do that, but let's see. So you have to pay Oh, wow. We do not have to pay Jordan Davis because he is going to be gone. We need an edge rusher. We need a... Do you move Cameron Jordan to DT and maybe grab Montez Sweat? Don't really want to pay edge rushers again. I mean, this is how a team stays broke, paying edge rushers. But he is a superstar as well. I think we're going to pull the offer on Quez just to save some money. I really do like him, and I think he would be dynamic. But I think we can get a little bit more out of just a rookie just for the price. And, we want to pay Sweat a 3-year 48, which isn't terrible. And Gilmore, I think, is off the cards. Greedy Williams probably isn't much better of an option anyways. All right, banking on the draft at DT. Let's see who we actually get. Come on, Sweat. This would be huge. Actually, no, we have Cameron Jordan playing DT now. Cole Holcomb, a 1-year $7.5 million for the 81 overall to play outside linebacker. Not terrible. And then Sweat, of course, a 3-year 48 with $10 million to spare. Once again, I wouldn't like to move Cameron Jordan from that edge spot because, he played really well. But at the same time, with that aging, he is getting pretty slow there. And of course, he does have the size to play DT, as that versatility. He's a beast. It seems counterproductive, like I said. I keep using that word a lot, but at the end of the day, I think this is the smartest move. We fill an automatic need at DT. You can still draft one maybe high in a late first, early second. You have the edge filled now completely for years to come. And, the team is better off for it. We're going to end up losing Cameron Jordan, but we have the edge set, which is super important. We have the quarterback set, most likely at least. Really, now it's about adding depth more than anything. And, DT1, or DT2, technically DT3 for now. Cole Holcomb, for now, will be the starter, but obviously maybe look for a linebacker who could replace him. Have to replace... DeMario Davis probably next season, the season after next anyways. But, there's a lot of low overalls, but there are a lot of players with potential. So, looking for depth for potential starters in the next season, 2024. Next being, the one after this upcoming one. Because it's now kind of this season, I feel. 5th-year option, Cesar Ruiz. I'm actually not even 100% sure what overall he is, but... I can't imagine a 5th-year option would be worth it, right? Oh, he's actually really young. I keep mixing him and Andres Pete up, I think. But yeah, he'll probably be about a $10 million per year deal guy. So we trade pick 7 and a 5th next year, and Johnson for pick 18, pick 50, and pick 67 from the Jacksonville Jaguars. They took a DT. Speaking of, I'm hoping our DT still there is a decent-looking defensive tackle that I'm probably willing to take here at 18. And that is Mr. Harold Collins, who I didn't get more scout on. All I have is the B block shed, but I also have that insane bench press and a very athletic 40 and shuttles and all that. We have no other for 1 to 2 guys. It's the biggest need we have after this season, maybe even technically this season. He'll probably start over the other guy. Harold Collins, hoping for the best. And another normal dude. He's good based on the little bit we can see. Everything that I see there is expected. Maybe should have been a little bit faster, but it's, pretty on par. But man, no hitting. Of course, it is a defensive tackle. If he's not superstar or better, it could be technically a win that he's not hitting, as obviously it's not the hardest thing to do to go from normal to star, and it's a nice XP boost. Usually the ETs do end up getting 10K, 20K, so fair enough. Of course, we do have pick 7 here. Pick 18 because of the trade down with the Jags. Might move down a little bit more and honestly take a safety, which wouldn't be the worst call in the world, I feel. And, I just don't even feel like the Lions pick is worth it. But at least the Jets are going to get us a little bit higher. Don't know if that's even a fair trade, but, I mean, it seems pretty fair. So we're going to go with pick 13. We do need a linebacker pretty badly, too, but I think the safety long-term, and he is a better player than you. Actually, let's take a look at Huffman real quick, too. A-tackle, C-zone coverage, pretty athletic. Childs, let's take a look at, though, who is also CC, a bit more athletic, but I will say Huffman, maybe we take the linebacker instead and then just trade up if we need to for whoever's remaining out of the safeties. Seems like a good call. I mean, Boss is pretty athletic. We're going to risk it on Boss. Randy Boss. Damn it with these normals. Stop. Oh, come on. 2 picks before us. Okay. We'll give up a 6th round to the Chiefs, I guess. Chiefs have their, oh, maybe not. It kind of says they need free safety. Huff is built a little bit more like a strong. Oh, they really do need a safety. We're going to have to give them a 5th round to move up here because, I mean, I will say, I don't think they would know we'd be going for safety here. So, I mean, it's a good trade for them, obviously. We overtraded hard there, but they're going to regret it, obviously, but as far as, like, them knowing what we're going to go for here, I don't think they would know. I just simply don't think they would know, but either way, Huffman, who may even be better than Childs, is going to be the choice, and another normal! God, these overalls better be good when you go into the pants store. I was going to grab Randy Sharp, who looks okay. He's 6'8", 338, 21 years old, which is just nuts, but I actually don't have a spot for him. I mean, like, our left tackle is a huge guy that just can't play interior. Our right tackle is athletic, but Ramczyk he's going to be a right tackle for life. I just don't have a spot for him. Eddie McMath, maybe. He's also very fast. We didn't land a hidden with the linebacker we took. Technically, we could use 2 linebackers. I'm going to go with him. I thought he was going to be hidden. We didn't land a single hidden this draft. Man, that's rough. That is actually so rough. I like it rough. Paul Long gives it rough. We kind of found another Deontay Harris, but does he have the durability to play the slot wide receiver spot? I mean, at least Lyle Odom is a little bit bigger. He's a bit slower, too, though. How old is he? 21. CCC across the board, but you have an A deep from Calhoun. I think because of that A deep, you got to go with Calhoun, Curtis Calhoun. And of course, of course, the day 3 wide receiver is hidden, and he's 5'8", 181. That is super cool, but also a little surprising. And honestly, I'm going to take the other guy too. Screw it. Lyle Odom, normal development trade. I mean, it looks like we made the right call because obviously the other guy was hidden, but we kind of need wide receiver depth in general. This is kind of what happens when your team is broke. You got to grab a bunch of wide receivers, some rookie wide receivers that you long-term develop because they're on cheaper deals. We ended up taking the kicker, Zach Lehman. He had an A accuracy. I think it was like, was it decent? Or I think it was good kick power, 90 kick power anyways. And honestly, if Lutz can be let go for, I wouldn't say a profit, because you're not really gaining anything, but if you can save money doing it, might do it. I mean, there's a lot of slow tight ends, but this guy sets the bar low. I had to do it. Joseph Douglas, the fastest tight end remaining. I know he's 23, but at least he's somewhat athletic. Man, I'm really hoping for some good ratings here because we really did not hit the jackpot when it comes to hidden devs, and I worry about those linebackers. I think they're going to be really low. I really do, but DT should be good, and the safety should be good. And, I mean, I was right about the DT and strong safeties, but yeah, that's a good draft. That's actually not bad at all. And the tight end's so bad, but okay, that is a win. That is a dub. Of course, Harold Collins, 74 power move, 72 finesse, 77 block shed. I'm trying to think if he should. Yeah, I mean, he's a first rounder. We'll play him as the number 2. The other DT, though, does still have a lot of potential, so don't just sleep on him completely. Randy Boss, we have 2 linebackers here that are going to be backups for the first year of their careers, and that number has got to be changed, but they are going to be contributors at some point. Huffman, I don't know what we can do with Marcus May, but he will definitely be a starter soon. Eddie McMath, like I said, I think maybe built more like a pass rusher, even though he's small. I guess he'll start at some point too when we lose probably Holcomb and DeMario. Curtis Calhoun, cool name actually. Good deep route, kind of rough catching. Where's his return? 83. I figured he'd be more of a return man. I think, unless the other guy's a more polished route runner by a lot, this will be our new number 3. Even though he's super undersized. Where's number 1, which is kind of cool. Let's kind of compare them real quick. So obviously, Calhoun is much faster. Not as agile, which is a little surprising. I mean, I guess the spin, but juke move is obviously better in general. Catching is better for Odin. Spec is surprisingly better for the small guy. Yeah, I mean, Calhoun's just a better player in general. Then Lehman, the kicker. Yeah, 85 kick accuracy. I'm trying to think if we passed on anyone that we wanted to take a look at. I suppose the tackle, even though, once again, we just had no need for him because we just have 2 massive set-in-stone tackles on the outside anyways. Here he is, 69 overall, and he was hidden, as expected, but at least he went to Houston. I feel good about that. It's just you look at Will Lutz, and it's just like, why would you ever let him go? Like, he's just a good player on a decently fair contract, but he's sucking. He's not doing well. I mean, the year before was okay, but this year, I mean, terrible numbers. I mean, I'm sort of picking and choosing a little bit, you know, the re-signing of Eric McCoy, even though we would have technically not been able to re-sign him because he needed a contract the year we started this, technically. But as far as Will Lutz goes, in real life, he would need a contract. We obviously would have chosen not to re-sign him after a year like that, so going to be releasing him and rocking the rookie, which in fairness, he is a pretty good player. I'm just glad that we were able to, I mean, sort of right the wrongs, right? I think we're in a good spot. Well, we're in an okay spot contractually. Also, when it says 0 cap space, is this like, is it 0 because they're not technically on the roster yet, and then once week 1 hits, they would be getting like, I don't know, veteran minimum or something? Because like obviously no one's going to play for 0. The Rams need, a guard. We need to save more money. Of course, we save $8 million. We do take a little bit of a dead hit, but we save $8 million in 2024 here by getting rid of Pete. And even though I know we just paid Eric McCoy a 4-year $60 to play center, technically, you're playing guard now because you are versatile. Well, that's a pretty interesting name to be in free agency. Obviously, we're not going to sign him because it's completely unrealistic. Hopefully, he goes to a team that actually needs him. So here is our year 3 roster, looking a little bit different, specifically at quarterback. Obviously, our new number 3 wide receiver has a lot of potential because he's super small, super fast, so he's kind of a different style wide receiver. You have the big, that's kind of slow but good route runner. You have the medium, that's fast and is a good route runner. And then you have the tiny, who's fast with good deep. Obviously, Kamara's a good player, quarterback. Hopefully, Reed can step up as, I mean, Winston had a really bad year, so I feel a little bit better about losing him due to quote-unquote financial issues. Obviously, we could have just barely afforded him, but, there was just no point in doing so when he played so badly. Might as well give Reed the shot rather than pay a 4-year $112 to a guy that's had a really bad year, simply put. Offensive line, obviously, we're in the right direction as, outside of maybe Ramczyk down the line, even though he's only 29, we're set for life as long as you can afford him. Tight end Troutman, he had a down year. Think he might need a contract. We'll see how he plays. His route running super bad, so if he doesn't look good by mid-season, might look for a new tight end. Defensively, DTs could be set. I don't know, because Trope, he's going to be 24 as a starter. He does have great power move and great strength, but didn't really play that well last year. Obviously, the edge is set. Linebackers, we might be set with Pete Warner. I don't know if we have to pay Pete Warner here, but we don't. We probably will have to because he's going to be that guy for us. Corners, maybe look for that. Free safety will be set with Huffman next year, and then strong safety, you got to watch out for that regression, and I think he might need to be paid as well. I appreciate you taking the initiative early on this team, but also, don't waste my time next time, please. All right, Cesar Ruiz, kind of being one of the bigger names here. Tyrann Mathieu, a 3-year 40. That's more than real life, and real life, he's younger, so I don't know about all that now. Cesar Ruiz, though, let's pay him a 5-year 45. He's a good player, but he's not as good as some of the other guys we had to re-sign recently. Eric McCoy is more sound at his overall. As you can see, 74 pass block. That's really iffy. I don't know how Troutman's playing, but I can't imagine it's good. Once again, we'll see. It is really not. So it's week 18, and we have, this is what the free agents are remaining like. I don't know what to do for some of these guys because some of them are going to just regress. So I'm not really even sure what kind of, shell of them they'll be. Troutman's not playing poorly, and I feel like that is re-signable, but I don't know if I want to pay him. I know he's a really good run blocker, but as far as a pure receiver goes, he's also 26. I think I got to let him go. Of course, I did give Tyrann Mathieu a manual contract. He accepted a 3-year 28 in real life from the Saints with an $18 million guarantee. I gave him a 2-year 26 with an $18 million guarantee. So if anyone wants to cry about realism and all that, I really don't care. He's literally offered him at an older age, playing technically worse, more money over less years. But on top of all of that, good news. We're in the playoffs. And one last hurrah. Cameron, maybe? It would make sense, actually. He's like, I'm not playing DT again, chief. But we kept the same scheme as we have with Jameis Winston. We ran Tampa for the last 7 weeks of the season last year, and I can't remember how that went. But, 0-27. The Falcons, man, they got our number. They keep calling, and we don't pick up because we're afraid of them. But let's take a look at the numbers, obviously. Terry McLaurin joined a team and was number 3 receiver for yards. Obviously, the touchdowns are down a bit. Well, I wouldn't say down because he's literally never played quarterback for us. But down in comparison to yards and all that. Picks are a little high, but a better season than Jameis, of course. Kamara, very good season with all those touchdowns. He thefted. Thomas, solid. Olave, much better. Troutman, pretty damn good, actually. I hate to say it. And then Calhoun, not bad. Kamara not used in the receiving game as much as we probably should, and the blocking was pretty damn bad. But, of course, sack totals. Look at the numbers. 23 for Sweat. I thought it was going to be Jordan. Cameron Jordan's like, I don't want to play anymore. I'm too good for this sport. Come on, man. 23, though, for Sweat. That's a dub. 16.5 for Jordan. 15 for Davenport. The DT Collins was okay with 4. Avante Taylor with a 3-pick season. Matthew with a 3-pick season. Kicking, man, our kickers are just doomed. I don't know what we did to suck at kicking, but it's bad. Like that, 85 accuracy, and he's missing that much? Really? Of course, Desmond Ridder, kind of getting up there. Number 7. He's moving up the list a little. Montez Sweat, of course, Defensive Player of the Year. Rookie of the Year goes to Calhoun, which is surprising. Is it just not a lot of quarterbacks, or any, for that matter? We almost had Defensive Rookie of the Year with Collins. Would have felt super undeserved. Any awards? The Falcons. Okay, they did need him. It sucks he's in the division, but still they needed him. Sweat, obviously winning a bunch of awards. And we'll be trading for Rodrigo Blankenship. We really should, and I want to, but obviously we won't. Very weird seeing one last hurrah and the first of many side by side, but let's click it. It's only fair. It's only realistic. Maybe Jordan will just not retire, but the quarterback talking about a DT that, defensive lineman, I should say. It's his first time playing DT here. At least in this rebuild. I don't know what he would have played early in his career. Maybe moved around a little bit. But, yeah, he's like, I've been talking to the guy that I only just now know. It's like, mate, you've only been here a little bit, and you're just now the starter. But 88 overall versus their 85 overall team. Marion Austin, an X-Factor running back. That's kind of cool. Come on, Saints. Let's beat these Eagles. 7-0. 7-7. Oh, nice defense near the red zone there. Goal line, it seemed like. 10-7, 17-7. Defense is having a good start. 24-10. Cameron Jordan's got to be at the lead of this thing. Is one last hurrah, and the defense is just locking up like this. You can't tell me it's coincidences. We're going to have a pretty easy time of it in the wild card round against the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, still the quarterback there. Steven Reed, kind of like a better Jalen Hurts. Got to sit a year, and here he is, kind of taking the league by storm a little bit. Gallery, I almost feel like I never even hear his name. Olave, not bad. Calhoun, not bad. This team's on the trending upward situation, and a Debo with a pick, really clutch. Might have even been that goal line situation that kind of kick-started that defensive stand throughout. But looking at some upgrades, let me know what you guys think about. I think we did a video on it. I can't remember the results. It probably was just inconclusive. But if, that's not the case here. But if we have a guy that's an interior guy and he's actually like built wrong. He's built with finesse. Do you think we should like be allowed to like switch the ratings? Like, you know, like this guy's got, well, this is a little bit different because he's built more of a pass blocker, which is fair enough. If you're good at both on pass blocking, that's okay. You know, some people just aren't good run blockers, some people just aren't good pass blockers, but, you know, if he's an interior guy and he just sucks at power completely, can we get rid of some of the finesse and put it on power, do you think? I mean, this is a little bit different than, you know, us manually doing contracts. Like I said, we're basing it off of real life, whereas there's no such thing as really basing this off of real life per se, technically, right? There are people that are kind of better at going against certain types of players, but, you know, Eric McCoy being one of those guys that's more finesse here. Penning is a power guy, which I suppose he is a big guy. It makes sense, but as far as, like, what you should be going for, it is, once again, finesse on the outside, because that is kind of where the traditional, like, it is a little bit more finesse in the league on the edge. Obviously, you'd want to be more balanced in general, but it's not always the case. But at the same time, I kind of feel like I don't want to bother with it anyways, because it is what it is. We've won plenty of Super Bowls with the wrong thing anyways. But yeah, one last hurrah continues as we're moving on to the divisional round. And it's a little bit of a weird one, but honestly, with the way we're seeing some guys regressing, some guys retiring, I think if we were to win the Super Bowl here, which, I mean, we're facing some really bad record teams, and it's possible, I think I might just call it there rather than going for the 2 out of 3, especially since we got cucked early on anyways. Can almost argue that this maybe could have been another Super Bowl. If we win the Super Bowl here, this could have been the multiple Super Bowl, but it's here 10-0. Not a good start for this whole end the rebuild here situation anyways. 17-0. Defense not really doing great in this one, but also offense just not existing. 7-17. We hold to a field goal, only down by 6. Offense has got a chance. They really need to score here. Oh, what happened? Did they throw a pick? Okay, the punt. I mean, this would have been for the lead, most likely. Hello, fellas? They actually just failed to score in the goal line twice. Oh, my God. Green Bay's defense has improved. They actually had the legendary comeback, and they lost to Jordan Love. I know Reed is probably a lower overall than Jordan Love at this point, but that's nuts, dude. Kamara, really good performance, I think. 45, I mean, that's a long run, but it's not like it's going to completely skew those numbers all the way, but Will Fuller finally makes his way to Green Bay. MVS is back in Green Bay. That's an interesting receiving group you got there, I'll tell you what. Sack totals had a bunch of random names in there. Peyton Turner and McMath, McMath's not even a freaking pass rusher. Jair with 2 picks, which sucks. Alontae Taylor with a pick. Nice. Oh, man. It must have just been those 2 picks from Reed that were just too much to overcome. Man, momentum exists. Got out to a really bad start and just never recovered. All right, Jordan. Cameron Jordan. Are they true? I don't want to go out like this. I can still perform at high level, but it's something I think. Ooh. He's not maybe going to retire, which would be interesting. Just tell me Green Bay made the Super Bowl. Don't take our playoff spot and not, you know. Oh, the freaking rivals, too, dude. Oh, my. Just let them have it. The Falcons are going to win, obviously. There it is. Come on. So let's see the dev-ups. Maybe Thomas on offense. Ooh, the quarterback, too. Thomas, who's 31, obviously my assessment of the pacing of the rebuild was pretty correct. You know, we were just getting worse, obviously. Reed obviously gets the superstar, which is really clutch. Hopefully that doesn't mean he's going to suck like Winston. Defensively, Jordan's still here. I don't know if it's regress time yet or retirement time yet. But Sweat, obviously an X factor, without a doubt. Marcus May, I thought would have needed a contract by now. Might need to be replaced right this instance. Like I said, Adebo is still there. He's got potential. He's a zone guy, which is very interesting. But we probably have money for the first time in a while, especially losing Holcomb and Davis. If you feel like you're already almost there, and you have guys that are regressing and retiring on you, like Tyrann Mathieu ain't going to last much longer, Do you not just spend on, a 1-year guy that might get you there? Especially after coming so close. I mean, we were the better team. We just lost. Like, we have 72 million. Cameron Jordan is still here, too. He played really well for us. So if I can give him like a 1-year 11, thank you. He's back. Nice. DT's been a really tough... Oh, Marcus May was on the list. What am I talking about? So, yeah, we'll let him go. Let Holcomb go. Troutman wasn't terrible, but I think we can do better. Maybe we'll actually be able to pay, if there's one in there, a proper, good tight end that could just carry. Yeah, 62 mil. I'm trying to think of anyone we have to re-sign. Probably no one. And if we were to... Oh, Tyran's back. If we were to re-sign someone, it would probably be someone that's already being paid anyways. Sneed. Like I said, I like Adebo, but Sneed is developed. He's properly developed. Of course, he kind of sucks at zone, but a 3 or 50, what does that put us at? Of course, outbidding the Chiefs, who, I mean, technically were his former team. Not even technically, like literally physically. Sky Moore was let go. Interesting. Superstar, that good, and they let him go. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but okay, sure. Of course, I didn't even think about it. Marcus Williams is also back. I mean, do we bring him back in? I feel like the Saints are a very loyal type of team. I like Huffman. What about Tyrann? He's 92 overall. He should be good for 2 more years. Oh, man, I do like Huffman, though. I think I'm going to let Huffman develop. I just wish there was a proper tight end. I mean, no one's really in on Troutman. Higbee's decent. Would he take a 1-year 8.5? I mean, that's not a bad deal. How good actually is he, though? I imagine good catching, at least. He's probably really slow, but... Yeah, he's pretty good, actually. Really good catching, solid route running, just a bit slow. Could get nutty and grab Sebastian Joseph Day, imagine. Of course, pure block shedder, but obviously we have the power with Jordan. I think I'm happy with what we have, though. There's no real, like, great names to play at linebacker here, right? I mean, Khalil Mack's obviously a pass rusher. Maybe you can go Eric Kendricks. Kendricks is still really smart, but... Oh, it's just such a weird team, dude. Like, we have positions that we're set on, but they need time to develop. But we also have players that are going to start regressing and have regressed that we can't really wait too long on. Oh, well, we're going to move on. I'm just going to hope the youngster linebackers get it done. We get Higbee on a 1-year 8.5. We get Sneed on a 3-year 53, so... There's that. Adebo is not bad. I could see him being worth a little bit in a trade. Because long term, I don't really see us paying him and sitting him for multiple years, as Alontae Taylor is the better number 3, I suppose. He is also better in man coverage by a lot. So Adebo could even play safety, actually, for us. I don't know what his real life experience with that is, though. He does bump up 1 overall, and of course his morale jumps a little bit. Huffman is a good number 2 as well. And obviously he could start for Tyrann sooner than later. I don't hate that, though. I don't hate what we've got going. I'm gonna live with it. Probably look to draft DT again, even, because obviously we're just wasting the high power move guy at this point. Also, wide receiver might not be the worst call, especially if we have to pay Thomas, which we do. I just can't imagine, even though he's a 90 overall, I can't imagine paying him at 32. Maybe a 1 or a 2-year deal, but I just can't imagine it other than that. Damn, Kamara's about to make some money next year. Holy crap. Sorry, Peyton Turner. You never really got a chance. Maybe you'll be okay in real life, but in game, it just never was going to work out, and you knew it. You knew it. You knew it already. I don't even know why you're trying to pretend it to be, surprised. It's just never going to happen. Never was, never will. All right, we trade 25, 89, and 121 for 18 and 146 from the Raiders. This is going to, believe it or not, be a tight end. I almost went wide receiver. We obviously need to work on the future of this team at wide receiver and tight end, and I was going to. Like I said, I felt like it was a true good X wide receiver. He might still be good, but that F deep route and the 3-cone/20 yard is just too low for me. I can't. I love the force 3.7, but that's all I love about that. But we do have the tight end, Mr. Austin Kingsbury, who is 6'4", 242. I scouted him more. All I got, though, was the deep route because it glitched out on me. But obviously, you've seen there with that crazy 40 time at 6'4". I mean, that's really good with that size. I really backed out there. I'm going to grab him. Maybe he's the future at the tight end position. Maybe he's not. And it appears he is. Hidden development trade, 87 speed, 88 excel. Jumping sucks, but 6'4", 242, that's what I'm talking about. And we do have other DTs. Where are they? We have three actually. 2 to 3 rounders, so we're probably going to go until there's just one left and then make a trade up. Also, wow, what a name. What a name. Moving up 4 spots, we give him a 4th this year and a 7th next year. Carr went, which was one of my last DTs, and we're now about to go for the last. Don't know once again a whole lot about him. I'm a little worried, but we're kind of basing his potential off of his insane combine, which of course was a 42 rep, very agile, fast enough combine. Mr. Quincy Corbett, he is a late second, so a little bit less risk here, but we're going to grab him. And finally a hidden. This is what the other DT should have been, and he wasn't. Not bad, of course. I do want to see that other wide receiver, O'Neal, as he was also a big guy, potential X receiver category. B catching, C release, 22 years old. Just fast enough, but I don't know actually if I want him. There's a couple of teams coming up that actually probably could use a wide receiver. I'm going to trade up. This is a bit to give up, but also at the same time, I don't think it's actually that much in their favor. It's actually probably in our favor, but we're going to make the trade. Once again, quantity over quality does still exist when it's close enough. But yeah, no other picks till the 7th round is a little bit of risk, especially when you could probably take a bit better of a chance on, you know, a center that looks guaranteed. Could probably play around different spots as he is pretty athletic. And same with the right tackle, looks really good. But just positions that aren't really the biggest need right now, whereas we're probably going to lose Michael Thomas. Taking the risk on Von O'Neal. Normal dev. I will say, a bit more fast than I thought. I mean, you compare that to the tight end, and I think the tight end is probably more athletic, yet was way slower. Man, this is a huge jump to the freaking 7th round. You know, TJ Belfort as our fullback looks pretty cool, actually, that name. Let's see the draft recap. What kind of talent did we land? 73 overall, 76 for the DT, 69 for the wide receiver. I almost called him tight end because he is on the bigger side, I suppose. But decent jump ball receiver. A little raw on the route running, but good release for his size. He's got all the trades. This guy's actually really good with that injury and stamina as well. He's actually solid. I mean, that's a good draft pick. Let's change his number real quick. Take a look at the hiddens after this, but fair enough. Not bad, actually. Number 17, I guess, because I don't really have anything else remaining. Let's take a look at Quincy Corbett, the defensive tackle. Finesse is okay. Block shed's really good. Very athletic. Super strong, especially with the +4 from our coaching staff. He's literally 99 strength. Let's take a look at that defensive tackle. What number was he wearing? 93. That's okay. Superstar. Okay. I mean, it's kind of a spoiler almost, but if the other DT we got isn't superstar, I mean, this guy deserves a start in general. Or a star anyways, not superstar. If he's not star, 85 looks pretty good. And another superstar. Finally. I mean, it's a little late, but all those normals of the previous drafts. Also, by the way, there were so many quarterbacks. 6, 7 quarterbacks in the first 10 picks. Oh, I thought that was a quarterback. 81 overall. The freaking Patriots hit hard on that. The guy's freakily. Oh, my God. Of course, quarterbacks all pretty slow. I mean, they might still be good, but they're slow, and that's all that matters to me. The Season 4 roster looks pretty damn good with our quarterback being an 80 overall. Obviously, looking at the wide receivers, Thomas is a worrisome player because not only does he need a contract this year, but he also is regressing hard because of age. I'm not sure what we'll do. It might even be a tag situation. Of course, Calhoun actually had a pretty good year, and even, you know, despite the fact that he's like a tiny dude with, I mean, a lot of speed, though. So, I mean, once again, we got ourselves a young Deontay Harris, basically, with some receiving ability, especially deep. And then Olave, who's obviously an 85 overall now. Really would love to see him get to superstar. Higbee's going to be a one-year guy for us as we have the superstar Kingsbury as the backup, but we'll let that, you know, just play out as is for now. The O-line looks great and, you know, pretty young across the board. Linebackers, there's some youth. It's not great that Warner is our veteran presence. Once again, he's a superstar. He's played well, but at his starting age, it was just so hard for him to get to where he, you know, is, and to get even higher is going to be a challenge. But Debo playing free safety with Huffman, learning the ropes again, potentially taking Mathieu's spot at some point, or if Debo we can't afford, which we should be able to, or we choose not to keep him, could replace him there. Of course, Corbett looks great as our new number 2. Jordan's probably gone this year, though, so Collins will resume back as a starter following that year. But yeah, I mean, it's a good team. We got Snead added on. I mean, linebackers, like I said, are a little weak, but overall, we should be a playoff team and maybe the team to beat for the Super Bowl. So like I said, Michael Thomas needs a contract. Jordan needs a contract. Pete Werner, probably worth a little bit more than this at this point, so probably like a 4-year $50, which, I mean, that's pretty good. Obviously, he's been really good for us. Very consistent. Paulson, Debo, I think a 4-year $25 would be fair for a guy that did have to move position, but once again, he's playing safety now, and even then, he was like kind of a worth a 3. He was worth the 3 corner spot. So looking at Alontae Taylor, once again, another guy that's probably built to just play cornerback number 3 for life. So a 3-year $15 isn't terrible. But let's see what else we have. DeMarco Jackson. We got a couple of youngsters from real life, obviously, needing contracts, but a lot of the other guys we can let go. Michael Thomas is still kind of the guy that we have to, determine. Can we do just like a 1-year right now? Like a 1-year $15? Because I don't know if I would actually pay the tag price at this rate. I don't think I can. All right, playoffs. Let's see how we finish. And very strong is the answer. We lost the first 2 games and a couple of losses in between, but we were able to be consistent enough when it mattered the most to move from like the 3rd spot half of the season to the 2nd spot for most of the season, and then stealing the, of course, division and conference itself as the number 1 seed right at the end. I mean, you can see here, little rocky here, rocky in the beginning, and then just, a really strong finish, like we said. And it's going to lead to a bye week, obviously. So let's take a look at the stats and awards. Mr. Steven Reed having himself a good start to his career. 5,100 yards, 38 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Kamara, 1,212 yards, 15 touchdowns. Receiving, 14-15 for Olave, 13-46 for Thomas. Of course, 17 touchdowns for Olave. That's got to be superstar. Calhoun, just under 1,000. Higbee, really good season for him. And then Kamara, not really super great in the receiving game. Lacking in the backups for O-line, but Trevor Penning, not super great, going to be honest. Sweat, worse year, but still good. Corbett, really good year. Jordan, okay year. And Davenport, easily his worst so far. Snead with 4 interceptions, really good addition there. Lehman, much better year. Love that. And then as far as kick return, punt return goes, just basic stuff. Of course, yearly awards. Where would our guy have landed? At least in the top 10. Number 8. We take it. Any award wins at all. Corbett, who did have a really good year, was the defensive rookie of the year. Our quarterback, Pro Bowl, which is nice. Kamara at number 6. Olave at number 1. Really? I would have thought, I know Thomas didn't have any touchdowns, but like many touchdowns at least, but I thought he would have been on there. But we have 4 linemen in the top 10 for best lineman. Sweat at number 6, and the rookie Corbett at number 10. Linebackers, no one there. DBs, number 6, and kicker at number 5. A really good year for the Saints, could result in a Super Bowl win. And, I don't know how good they are, but it probably helps when you're facing an 8-9 team for your first playoff game. G Ford's an X factor, but, can't be much more around there at this point. All right, going to the end of the game, a really good start for us. It seems like we forced the ball away, and we got 7 7-3, speaking of. Haven't really seen much since then, though. Rocking the Saints offensive playbook. Got to see Kamara kind of step up a bit. 21-10, 28-10. Looking pretty good. And 35-10, a really good second half. Really good. 42-10 is the finish. A slow start, but a great finish with Veldman having 199 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Reed, really good game. Kamara, solid on the ground. What about receiving? Not really so much, which it's kind of what you expect from that playbook is for him to do better. But Olave, really good. Calhoun, it's nice to see him involved. Sweat with 2 sacks, 1.5 for Jordan. Warner with 0.5. Debo with a pick at safety. And then Lehman missing 2 field goals after missing only 2 field goals all year out of 24 attempts, which is a very large volume, of course. But here we are in the championship already. This is a team we lost to earlier in the year. They kind of ended our winning streak we were building. But they're also 8-9. I don't know. It's kind of getting weird. But I will say the big difference is they are in a 90 overall. Really good comeback drive, getting 7. They also get a good comeback drive. Kamara with a huge run for a touchdown. Up 10 now at halftime. 23-7. Missing an extra point. Lehman, man. Very bad in these playoffs so far. They get the 2-point conversion on the touchdown, but ultimately our offense is just never going to stop. And that is a very impressive win over a 90 overall team that, once again, we lost to earlier in the year. So the Saints are finally headed back to the Super Bowl in longer than a decade. Steven Reed has been amazing in these playoffs. Kamara, not really a great game, to be honest. You know, you got to figure 75-yard run, take that away, and the numbers, they're good, but they're not great. You know, I need a little more consistency, but it was still a good enough performance, obviously. Higbee, really good game. 10 for 105 with 2 touchdowns. Beautiful stuff. Calhoun gets involved with a touchdown himself. Sack totals, Davenport gets involved. Love it. Boss with a sack. Sweat with a sack. Sweat sack. Interception for Werner. Lehman did miss that extra point, but at least he hit his field goal. Okay, the Super Bowl, here it is. Watch, this is where we're going to play like the Packers or the Cowboys or something. The Packers shouldn't be good still, though. Why did my brain think we were in the AFC? Why do they... It's not going to be the Packers or Cowboys, believe it or not. It's going to be an AFC team in the Super Bowl. I mean, that's... I don't know who would have thought that, to be honest. It's just kind of strange, but... Looking at the DevUps. Oh, we got some. We definitely got some. Reed, X Factor. Superstar X Factor. His ability is Gambler. He's got Sleight of Hand, Jukebox, and I suppose Set Feed Lead. I mean, that wouldn't make any sense. Pass Lead Elite, I guess. Oh, you get one of these as well. I guess Fast Break. But let's take a look at Mr. Olave, who finally gets to Superstar. I mean, he's had some pretty good years. He had that one really bad year, in fairness, but this year's obviously one of the great years. Return Man, of course. Route Tech, I guess, makes most sense. Superstar development trait with his ratings being very medium and deep route based. Very good catching, though. Short route and release needs to go up a little bit, but he's still a really good player, obviously. And then defensively, Werner, X Factor. Snead, I don't think was a Superstar, right? I think he was only Star. And he was. That's a really good thing. On the ball, I guess mid-zone KO. I mean, it doesn't really matter anyways in Sim. No rookie, once upon a time rookie linebacker DevUps, which is really, really rough. But still, it's a very good team with a lot of high dev veterans. And, I mean, some super playmakers. Let's see who the Steelers had to beat to get here. They were not a wild card team. Okay, that's interesting. They beat the Chargers by 4, which is, I mean, that's a tough opponent. They beat Miami by, 25? Not a bad team in game anymore. Some really weird scores, though. 42, 44, 15. 44 to 15 must have never happened. There's no way. That's such a strange number. But here it is. Potentially the end of the rebuild. Another 90 overall team. The Pittsburgh Steelers. This could just be a huge battle on the ground, and we're going to see as the defense coming up clutch for the touchdown recovery as well. They get a touchdown, we get a field goal, they get a field goal, we get a touchdown. This is a very close battle so far, and it will lead with a 7-point lead at half. Now up by 10, 17. The defense is awakened, and the Saints are Super Bowl champions once again. I was about to say Drew Brees is looking down proud right now, but he's not dead. He's just, maybe he even comes back. There's obviously those rumors, I know it's more of it's kind of like a signification that he doesn't really know what his future holds, quote unquote. Like, he's just going with the flow, but he's talking about never count out returning to football, which obviously, let's be honest, it's just not going to happen. He's not no young buck, which I suppose is a double negative, meaning he is a young buck, but it's not true. Tyrann Mathieu, the Super Bowl champion Saint. Of course, Michael Thomas, Super Bowl champion Saint. couple of guys in here. Olave, a huge part of it. Higbee joining the team, gets another Super Bowl ring, which is pretty sweet. Obviously, technically in this universe, he only has one, but you know what I mean. Steven Reed, a very good rookie quarterback for us. We ended up trading up to pick 19 to grab him, sitting him a year behind Winston, who just did all the wrong things that year, unfortunately. But Reed picks it up, and outside of this game, which was still good enough to get the job done, he was great down the stretch and a huge part, maybe even the biggest part of this team's Super Bowl win. Of course, Kenny Pickett threw 4 interceptions, which is brutal. Kamara and Najee Harris were okay. Pretty similar performances from them on the ground. Michael Thomas, great game. Johnson, what about Olave? Got a touchdown. Higbee had 2 catches. Would have loved to see Higbee come up with a touchdown himself, but it is what it is. To it, and TJ, it was a pretty evenly sack battle. We were just a little bit better than them. Almost sound like I was going to sing there or something, but Snead, the new addition from free agency, coming up with 2 interceptions in the Super Bowl. Adebo with a pick at safety, and Alante Taylor with a pick at the slot corner spot. Of course, Lehman missed a kick. Castro missed a kick. And yeah, that is a good performance, an amazing Super Bowl run. The playoff run was amazing. Like I said, we actually rocked the Saints playbook there, so pretty impressed with it. I kind of went with them late in the season. Obviously, Kamara's numbers would have been a little bit better. I kind of went with it, I think, week 13, which, isn't super great, but hey, we were able to actually have the playoff run with the Saints playbook, so it is what it is. It might have also hurt that I was in vertical zone run. I think you might need to be on, I don't know what you need to be on, to be honest. But, of course, we will take a look at the players now to see how they developed. Obviously, some people would probably want to see Olave. Penning, I think, was developed incorrectly, but it is what it is. Obviously, Olave is now the highest overall wide receiver on the team with plenty of potential to go as he's 25 only. Just got to start working on the short route stuff. He's obviously a really good player. What else do we have? Kamara, I guess we'll take a look at. He's very high overall. 87 trucking, 91 stiff arm is just brutally good. Don't know what that's even supposed to mean. Let's take a look at his catching and all that. Very solid receiving back, obviously. The quarterback, Reed. He's an X factor. He's 25. His ratings are still lacking a little bit, but he's got all the right juice in all the right places. I said it. Of course, I don't really care too much about Thomas because he's regressing. He's not going to... He wouldn't have finished better than he started. Of course, Kingsbury, the backup. I don't even know how much he played, if at any. But obviously, you have a huge potential player there. 3 touchdowns, actually, is not bad. That's the amount Thomas added for touchdowns, I think. But, you have a guy with immense talent there. Higbee even went up a couple overalls at his age. How is that even possible? What are they talking about? Maybe he had, permanent boost or something from the season. Pete Werner, a guy that he got better than I thought he would have. 87 overall, 82 zone cover, 73 man, 68 block shedding. But he's a very solid player, obviously. Tyrann Mathieu, once again, another guy that would have regressed more than progressed. Obviously, Marshawn Lattimore with, very good man coverage. Tyrann Mathieu was pretty good for a couple of seasons there as well with us. So, I'm not going to, knock him for not coming up crazy in the playoffs. But he's consistent enough. Helped us win a Super Bowl, of course. Adebo, very good zone coverage. Davenport, outside of this season, though, amazing performer throughout this. Pretty good block shedding. Really good power move. Athletic. Worth every penny, obviously. I'm not going to look at Jordan because, once again, he would have regressed rather than progressed. Corbett, really good sack numbers, but not great finesse. Just the game loves those guys. A good block shedding, no pass rush, but still make them good pass rushers. Montez Sweat, it probably does help that you have really good edge rushers and everything elsewhere, so he kind of gets singled out a lot. Montez Sweat was really good for us in this rebuild as well. Snead, like I said, had a really good year for us that last season, and that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoy this one, maybe leave a like, maybe subscribe. It would mean a ton to me. If you are not somebody that's new and you're already subscribed or you're a continued viewer, really appreciate it a ton. It means a lot. Let me know in the comment section below who you guys would like to see next. I had 2 teams on my list. Who the hell was it? I think it was Seattle, and it was another kind of decent team as well, which I can't for some reason think of. Might have been Baltimore, actually, which would be an interesting one because I'm not really sure what kind of contract situation the Ravens are in, but he goes to free agency a lot, which I will say, maybe you need a scheme change because maybe Baltimore just sucks in Sim, but Lamar never does well for me in Sim, so that could be an interesting one. They had an interesting offseason again. They seem to always do well in the offseason, but like I said before, they just don't do enough for the receiving group. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and we'll likely choose that team next. Obviously, I usually have a break. It's not really even a break. It's more just a YouTube strategy, if you will, where I just don't upload the day after, especially on a Friday, which is just like really bad upload day. We'll probably be back with 2 videos Saturday, like I said, hopefully in the video that came out yesterday for Nighthawks, the stats and awards, assuming that came out, that we will have a stream later on Saturday night for the off-season, so definitely be there if you can, and then we'll probably be back with yet another rebuild on Sunday. So yeah, we'll probably have that kind of a schedule where we have 2 days a week where we don't upload, but it's a rebuild the previous day, which is a longer video anyway, so it's kind of like 2 uploads. But regardless, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya!